Hi, I'm Dr. Kimber. I'm excited to be with you today. I just want to welcome each of you and remind you to put your name and where you're from in the comments. And if you have any questions, be sure to put those in the comments and then we'll try to get to them throughout our time together. So today we're going to be talking about the full moon parasite cleanse. I'm excited to dive into this with you. And first of all, let's talk about a little bit about parasites and what are parasites. I know there's a lot of things out there on the internet that you can find. Some say they are real, some say they are not real. Well, let's just talk a little bit about them and have a better understanding. The first is that there's millions of different kinds of parasites, which makes it very hard to test for them. The other thing is that when you do test for parasites, some can be very unreliable, get a lot of false negatives, simply because in order to do a stool test and to test for parasites through a stool test, the parasites actually have to be in the GI tract at that time. So for those of you that are evidence-based minded, it's going to be a little harder sometimes to prove that there are parasites. Now, personally, I love to look on your blood work, and I look for like the differentials, the basophils, and the eosinophils, and the monocytes, and the leukocytes, neutrophils. If those are elevated or out of range, that oftentimes is a really good indicator that there can be parasites. But here's what we do know, and that we do know that years ago, farmers, for instance, would in the spring and in the fall, they would actually do parasite cleansing for their animals and then themselves. So we do see that years ago, 100 years ago or whatnot, it was a natural part of kind of taking care of animals and taking care of self. As a matter of fact, parasite cleansing was actually also done in the spring and the fall with children in schools. So the big question is, why don't we do it anymore? I don't think it's necessarily because our living conditions are better. That may be somewhat of a factor, but we're still getting exposed to parasites in our world all around us. Now, if you're in a third world country, your chances of getting exposed to parasites are much greater than if you are in a first world country. But we're all part of the same world. We all travel throughout the world. As a matter of fact, my daughter and her husband just got back from a third world country, and they're currently doing a parasite cleanse. But they came back into the States, right? So what's to say that the person next to you in the grocery store didn't just get back from the third world country and are carrying parasites? Truth is, you can sneeze, and through the sneeze, parasite pinworms can be transferred to you if that particular person has them. So they're all around us. A parasite is something that lives off a host. It needs a host to survive. And many of us make great hosts. And therefore, we have those parasites living within us. So let's talk a little bit about parasites and the nutrients that they actually can steal from you. I want to use a dairy allergy or a dairy sensitivity for an example. First of all, if you drink dairy or eat dairy and you tend to get phlegm with that, you get this cough shortly afterwards, a phlegmy cough, or you get a runny nose, you can assume that you have a dairy sensitivity, maybe a dairy allergy. You can also develop that phlegm in your GI tract, and so it can cause you to have diarrhea because that's the body's way of purging that out. So if you are one of those types of people with dairy, you either get GI tract discomfort, or you get a cough, or you build up this extra phlegm coming out of your nose or your mouth, you likely have a sensitivity. However, here's the deal, is that parasites actually love the dairy protein. So it's not necessarily the dairy that's giving you the issues, it's more likely the parasites giving you the issues. See, once the parasite eats the dairy, the poop that they give off then, because it's a byproduct that the parasites will give off, this is the poop, that actually causes a reaction in your nervous system, and then the nervous system is the reaction to dairy. So you're actually more reactive to the worms or the parasite than you are likely reactive to the dairy. Makes sense? So for many people who do a parasite cleanse, simple things, for some it's not so simple because you can't eat ice cream or cheese, but things like dairy sensitivities, dairy allergies actually go away. So I see Ellie is joining us from Iowa. It's great to have you here, Ellie. I'm excited to have you join and hear more about this full moon parasite detox. All right, so parasites are everywhere, and we just have to accept that. They are everywhere, and they are more prevalent in response to toxic environments. So what exactly does that mean? Well, we drink, eat, breathe, and absorb toxicity. Now, the last few weeks, I've just talked quite a bit about that and the toxins around us. But I kind of want to draw this picture into parasites just a little bit more. You see, the more toxins that you have in your body, the more likely you are to have more parasites in your body. Why? Because parasites feed off of or are sponges for toxins. So the more toxins you have, the more parasites you have. All right, follow me here. Parasites are producing chemicals within our body that actually manipulate the way that we think, our personality, our habits, the way we act. It's the toxins that they produce that are doing this. So the more toxins that you have, the more likely you are to have parasites, and you might be experiencing more habits or behavior or personality change or thoughts that you don't know where they come from. And that is a byproduct of the toxins of the parasites, the parasitic poop that becomes very toxic in your body. So the key is to bring down the parasite load. I guess the end message here is that if you have a parasite problem, if you have a toxin problem. So those of you that are living less toxicity damaging lives, you eat cleaner, you breathe cleaner, you drink cleaner, you absorb cleaner, the likelihood is that you have less parasite in your body, all right? Because they don't have as much to live off of. So to cleanse the parasite load out of your body and to bring down that toxin load out of your body, we see things like allergies disappear, skin problems get better, digestive issues will get better, sinus issues will get better, grinding of teeth will get better, snoring can get better, bedwetting. If your children are bedwetters, they're struggling with bedwetting, that can get better. Asthma conditions can get better. Those things I see those things get better in my practice all the time when we go after the parasites. Now again, I don't want you to think it's just the parasites that are making you sick. It's the fact that these parasites are like sponges and that they're loaded up with toxicity and it's just brewing in your body. And it's making you sick. It's affecting your nervous system, which affects all of your organs, your brain, the way that you think, the way that you act, the way that your body digests. It affects it all. So to go after the parasites is key, but the issue is probably more a toxin issue in your body. All right. Now, let's talk about opening the drainage funnel just a little bit as we are thinking about this parasite cleanse. It's important that your drainage funnel is open, because what happens is that when you can't drain the parasites that you have killed, your body, the toxins, the byproducts that they give off actually cause inflammation. So their poop actually causes inflammation in you if you can't get rid of them. Now, how do you get rid of them? Well, you poop daily. You poop 1 to 3 times toilet filling amounts daily. That's one of the ways that you know that your drainage funnel is open. But there's other parts of our bodies that are included in that drainage funnel. The liver. Sometimes if your liver is slow and sluggish and full of toxins, it's going to be very slow to drain. That's when skin issues can develop. Things like eczema, headaches, brain fog, just random rashes, random fevers. Those are a liver problem. That's your liver. It's not draining well. It's sluggish. Your drainage funnel is not open. Your lymphatic system can be the same way. So your lymphatic system is something that collects all the toxins out of your blood. It is something that only moves when you move. So if you're pretty stationary and you don't move a lot, you work behind a desk, you can probably guess that your lymphatic system is going to be a little sluggish. So it's important to move, to get that lymphatic system moving, because again, that's the only time that your lymphatic system actually moves, is when you move. All right? So we have to detox. We do, because we live in a very toxic world. When we detox, we clear out those parasites, which in turn clears out the toxins, and then we need to make sure that that drainage funnel is open. Okay, so just bringing this all around. When we do this, life changes. That's when you start to feel better. If you're chronically ill and you've been just struggling with a chronic illness, you've gone to all the doctors, all the tests have come back normal, but you're still sick, it's likely the parasites. Might be that you have a lot of toxicity in your body, but the parasites are holding on to it, so we need to get those out of you. What I want you to remember is that there is hope. I know that when you're thinking, oh my gosh, whatever I eat, whatever I breathe, whatever I drink, whatever I put on me can cause me to be toxic and cause me to have parasites, it's a hopeless feeling. There is hope. And it's being proactive with your body. And it's taking steps like the full moon cleanse to actually start to feel better. Now, do I think that for some of you that have been sick for a very long time or dealing with a chronic illness, that a full moon cleanse, a 7-day cleanse, is actually going to heal you? No, I do not think that. I think what could happen, though, is that you're going to either poop a lot of parasites, or you're going to see some things improve in your body. Then I think you repeat it. You do it again. You do the cleanse again over the next full moon. So you do this monthly, or that's when you may need to reach out to me. And you may need to say, Dr. Kimber, I think I have a bigger issue, a bigger toxicity issue, a bigger parasite issue going on here that's keeping me sick, and I need your help. And I'll work with you one-on-one so that we can get you feeling better. And maybe we need to just do a little bit more of an extensive protocol just to help you to heal, to finally heal. Here's the truth. The truth is, to deny any of this equals health issues. All right? To deny any of this that we're talking about equals health issues. So I encourage you to be very proactive with your health. That's the reason that you want to do this 7-day full moon detox cleanse. I just want to encourage you to give it a shot. You don't know what you don't know, right? So here's the other thing. Some people will say to me, well, why over the full moon is it the best time? Well, studies have shown that the gravitational pull that happens over a full moon, and if you doubt it, just go to the ocean. Watch the ocean and how it goes back and forth. And during a full moon, it's actually more intense, right? Go to a psych ward and ask over a full moon if the admissions into a psych ward or the behaviors in a psych ward escalate. Look at a baby registry and see how many births happened over a full moon. See, all of these things tend to happen, increase, escalate over a full moon. Actually, animals, it's said that animals will actually tend to give birth more so over a full moon. So there's this gravitational pull that tends to happen. And when that happens, that actually can change the amount of melatonin in our bodies, in our brains, that calm us down. It lessens the amount of melatonin and increases the amount of serotonin. Now, here's the funny thing. Serotonin actually when it increases, it's a muscle relaxant. And so that allows these parasites to come out of the muscles into the GI tract. They feed, they mate during a full moon. So it therefore makes sense if they're out of the muscle into the GI tract, they're looking for food, they're looking to mate, that we go after them at that time. Now, my favorite full moon cleanse, you can find a few different ones. You can do a 3-day, a 10-day full moon cleanse. My favorite is to do a 7-day full moon cleanse. I like to say the full moon is right on this day. I like to do 3 days before, and then I like to do 3 days after. So you're really getting 7 full days, 3 days before, 3 days after, of going after those parasites. I mean, the truth is they can be more active even more days before and after a full moon than that. But 7 days in my experience, in my practice, is what I see where the most symptoms uptick. So that's what we do. We make it most effective, this cleanse, 7 days over a full moon. All right. So how do you know if you should repeat it? Well, like I said a little while ago, one of the ways that you know you should repeat it is if you pass a lot of parasites. That's how you know you want to repeat it. The other thing is if your symptoms get better while you're doing this cleanse, that's how you know you want to repeat it. Another way is if you just sit back and you really look at your life and you ask yourself, do I love processed foods? Do I eat processed foods a lot? Do I eat out a lot? Do I drink tap water? Do I love lotions that are just fully scented? Those are all toxicities that you are putting into your body. And so if that's your lifestyle, you more than likely have those parasites. So the full moon cleanse would be a really good thing for you to do. The more that you clear out of your body, the more you know you should, let me say this again. The more parasites that you clear out of your body, the more you know you need to continue to parasite cleanse on a monthly basis, maybe a quarterly basis, maybe at least twice a year. But be proactive with your health. The more that you can clear out the things that are not of you, the more you have the best ability to be your very best self. So get those things that are in you that are not made of God's design, get them out so that you can actually be the best you that you can be. I will put the link in the comments for the Parasite Full Moon Cleanse. I want to encourage you to join me on it. It's coming up very quickly, and this week, Friday, is the deadline to participate in the September Full Moon Cleanse. And so don't waste time thinking about it, just do it. You'll be proactive about your health and you'll be happy that you did. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.